There we go. I think actually live. Finally. Sorry about that. All right. Looks like audio's working, video's working, stream is working. Stream is healthy. I should have turned DVR off. Don't want to turn it off. I'm not going to mess with any settings. Ultra low latency. Cool. All right. So how was everybody's Friday in the market? What an awesome day. I think I ended up, what did I end up down in the Robinhood? There we go. Down $8,000. Down. It's going well. How are you? How was your Friday? Yesterday was definitely like a very rough day. I think pretty much across the market. I had a super busy Friday though, so I wasn't like watching it play by play. Down $1,400. Not bad. I almost hit $1,400 after hours. Almost $1,100 after hours. But like, fortunately for my account, I'm like, couldn't be happier. I was like waiting for a pullback, just so those calls, so I could roll those things out. Who knew it was gonna happen so dramatically? Plus, we also have quad witching going on this week on what is it, Friday? Yeah, of course Friday, because quad witching always happens on a Friday. So tons of expirations. Thankfully, a whole bunch of people weren't short Tesla, so that shouldn't affect things too much this time around, anyways. And I don't even know how big of an account. Hold on. What is it? Is your beeping? Okay, sorry about that. What usually happens on quad witching day, a whole bunch of volatility happens. So I think traditionally kind of things go down because sometimes there's some margin calls because we have, what is it, like stock options, futures options, what's the other ones? The index options, like the cash traded ones, and ETFs, like all expire on one day. So you have a whole bunch of options expiring all on one day, and there's some rebalancing there. So just a ton of trading, and I think it's usually like the last half an hour or so where you see like the most craziness. As far as the volatility, but traditionally down, just tons and tons of volatility pretty much. Placed at 250 put credit spreads for SPY. Good. Ending Monday with strike price of 438. Oh wait. Oh, you have 250 put credit spreads. I was like 250 level. I was like, what'd you pick up? Like 3 cents? Literally like 3 cents? Okay. 438. Holy smokes. On what did the 438? Ooh, I'm scared. 438. It's a little bit scary, actually. So I've been playing some weekly SPXs like Iron Condors and stuff. I'm not messing around with it at all next week. I have no idea what to expect. And then, I mean, the whole down Friday, down Monday is a thing. So good luck. I hope you do well. That's actually, man, that's scary. But like the thing, God, we dropped what on the SPX? Dropped a ton. So 450, $5 drop, and you are, yeah, I guess hopefully you'll survive Monday. That's pretty ballsy though. Yeah, I mean, there's always like, I'm hoping, like, I don't know, like if I had those and I was looking through like the proper colored glasses looking for the upside, I'd be like, all right, well, we've just taken a huge dump like all week, so hopefully we'll see some upside. But that overall trend, but that was a big dump to take Friday. So hopefully we'll see some rebound. I'm playing it a little bit to the upside Monday, actually. So I grabbed some whatchamacallits, some iron butterflies or some long butterflies for Monday too. I'm hoping we see a little spike up, kind of an overreaction. You're gonna take profits at 50%. Good. You're gonna lay low this week. Yeah. I always say I'm going to. Sometimes I'm like, oh man, but I have money. I want to play it. So it's like actually an absolute perfect week for me to lay low. Like even though the past week or two that I have been, just because I'm waiting for the decay on all my Tesla plays expiring the 17th, and I feel like so now I'm super happy with the 800s because obviously we're not gonna. I mean, maybe not obviously, but I doubt it's less than a 1% chance that we'd see a spike back up to 800, and I don't think we're gonna see another like tanking day. There was some news that came out. Well, I don't know if it was like new news, but the part of the actually I have it. Part of the plan. Thank you, Democrats, for the plan. But basically, it's going to cost Tesla like $45 extra $100. What was that on? That was posted on my Twitter feed. So, for 5 years, the legislation would implement $7,500 point-of-sale consumer rebates for electric vehicles and pay out an additional $4,500 for vehicles assembled in a union facility. Another $500 would be awarded for vehicles using a battery manufactured in the U.S. So basically, Ford, GM, all those union places would have a $4,500 advantage over Tesla, which is bad news. Which is bad news for Tesla, but I would rather give up $4,500 than buy the Ford or GM. And then, I mean, at least like Ford and GM are not going to be profitable on their EVs for a long time. So I don't know. Tesla couldn't deal with it, but still, that's a big owie. I usually trade the Google dip, but don't know about this one. Yeah, I figure we have 52 weeks a year. It's so hard to take a week off, man. It is so hard, like, to not trade. And sometimes it would probably be even better. Sometimes best play is no play. I was thinking about that going on vacations and stuff. Like, what if I don't have any Wi-Fi or my VPN's not working and I can't actually make any trades? But I'm almost thinking if you were like limited on the amount of trades you can make, it might end up better because then you're more. It's almost like having an account where you can't day trade. Like there's no kind of going back. I mean, I guess there is going back, but not as much. As over 25,000. That's almost like a downside of having a bigger account where you can day trade, because you know you can get into a trade and then back right back out if you're like, screw this. What did Goog do? Google. Holy dipperino. Wow. I think I have a $2,700 put spread. That's at least my short on it. God, everything was red. How was your Friday? Like, as far as your account, did you eat some? I ate 10 grand. Let's see. Take a look at my other accounts. My other accounts don't have they're not as aggressively positioned as my Robinhood that you guys see. Log in. Dude. Why does it want me to log in now? Okay, I won't even look at that one. I know everything I'm pretty down on though. Down 1,500. Big old dump. So 10,000 on the 8,000 on the Robinhood. Oh, my ARK. So I have one that I just play, ARK Invest. I'm down like less than 1% in that. My main portfolio down 0.6, so 1,200. My dividend account down $132. My IRA down to, man, just down across the board. There's usually like one that has some kind of like, I don't know, positioned really well, just that holds Johnson & Johnson and McDonald's and does okay. But not this week. This will be a good week to buy some stuff though, man. I'm like, all I see, like that red, all I see is like a ton of opportunity. Wish I would have been more liquid running into it, but I kind of feel like I am, since we do have so much stuff expiring on Friday. I can liquidate that, close those positions. I don't think we're gonna move like ridiculous. We'd have to move like over 10% on Tesla, but I think by the end of this week we'll see some pretty good bargains. So that was another one I didn't look at. I want to look at Monday. Well, we have the new leaps coming out too, so that's going to be awesome. MasterCard I was looking at buying leaps on too, which I was waiting for some confirmation that we had kind of turned around this downward trend, and we'll see what this week's does. But I'm gonna look for leaps on MasterCard. Definitely buy more Apple. Yeah, Apple took a big dump too. I was looking at, I have a that one leaps on Apple, and I was thinking what I was going to do is I have a 165 that I have sold against my leaps, and then so I was just gonna close that out and then sell a call above it and just take 100% of my profit out of my leaps. But of course I didn't. You got 100 shares of Apple on Friday. Awesome. I don't own any shares of Apple at all. No, that's probably not true. No, I do. I own it in my dividend portfolio, at least. But that's it. But I also don't use any Apple products. My girlfriend uses them, so maybe I could own a little bit. But I think I have, in my dividend portfolio, I probably have maybe $1,000 worth or something, but no 100 shares. Apple's such a good long term though. So good. I hope we see a bump up Monday morning. I hope, like, especially for your put credit spreads, man, 250 of them, that's a huge lot. That's gonna be awesome though. I hope we just like bounce right back up. I think we should though. Let me see. Yeah. 448. I think we'll come up. I think we'll at least like fill the gap up to 448. Bend over. Hey, don't you do scam videos, bend over? You're either gonna get 100 of AMD or Nvidia. Yeah, I love AMD. CEO's freaking a firm is just nasty good. My God, saw that. I don't know, like, yeah, I really like AMD. I've liked AMD for so long, and the fact the CEO's really turned it around. Man, AMD is such an awesome company now. I don't even know if I own any AMD at all. I should, but there's always like 1,000 companies you want to own. Do I at least have? No, in this computer I have. Yeah, I have Nvidia. The only thing I have is I use some AMD cards for mining now, but for years and years and years where AMD was such a better value than Intel, like every system I used to build around AMD. So besides my cards I use for mining, I have one laptop that has an AMD in it, but that's all. But I love that company, and I think my next system for sure will be built around an AMD chip, just because seems like they're much better value, and they do video processing pretty well. And I think they really started to come up when I was like probably right after I built this current system, which has been fine for me for a long time. But when I actually go to export videos, this thing's kind of a slug. It's like it's an i5, I think like a 6700 or something like that. But it'll be nice. And that's like a huge 100 Nvidia or AMD. Oh, that's right. They had the stock split though, right? So 200, so you can get AMD for half price, right? Is AMD still chilling around $100? Yeah. I made the decision to make half my account in equities. Nice. So it's so relaxing. It's nice. Like, even though, well, I guess, yeah, even my Robinhood, a lot of it comes into equities, and I keep dumping money. Like, as I do profit, I dump it into equities. But that is such a nice fallback. Don't kind of don't have to worry about it. I love it. Even though, and I was talking to somebody on Friday too, just about it. Like, you're probably not going to make as much money not playing the options or the leaps, but which for sure, and that's like our main goal. But to have something just comfortable that you know is not going to go to zero, especially when you have a basket of stocks. I mean, if they all go to zero, then we're all 100% screwed. So, yeah, I think it's a good idea. And no matter what you do, it's like 10,000 times better than having it sit in a bank account. What did a firm end up in? What are they? FARN? What's our? Yeah, it is a firm. Jeez. Holy crap. I didn't even watch it throughout the whole day. I think I saw a firm. I think I watched it probably up to here. I think even just like up to this first dip. So I was watching it just like when it was in the teens, the low teens. Holy smokes. I guess that shows a lot of people still want to finance crap, right? Because that's basically, like, from what I know, that's what they are, right? Every time you click on something and it says, hey, buy this now, you can pay later. That's normally a firm. That's a firm all over the place, as far as I know. To overextended, I'm sure it will come up a bit. Hopefully trades sideways, so time decay can help me out with my spreads. And was the best bang for the buck until they came out of the 500. Oh, yeah, AMD was the best bang of the buck until they came out with 500 series CPUs, which are better than Intel. Yeah. Yeah, and I noticed I like, God, I've had this. It's so crazy because it's like back, I don't know, however many years ago, 10, 15 years ago, it's like you had to buy a new system or build a new system every couple years or so. And now I think I've had this one for five or 6 years. Wasn't top of the line, but nothing is slow unless I'm doing video editing. That's the only place. If it wasn't for that, this still be fine. But I mean, for streaming, I pretty much play one game. That's about it. But no lag, no slowness. And I guess the other big upside was the SSDs. Like as soon as those came out, everything was fast. Even my super old ass laptop that was slow since the day I bought it, when I shoved an SSD in there, like, man, thing boots up instantly and can do whatever. But I basically just use that for browsing. I want to do leaps on 2 Spy and QQQ. Yeah. You're still holding those, right? Like you've had them. Oh, so another thing, I want to look at this closer. So I've been doing, when I get a leaps and the thing is super positive, I'll usually change it into debit spread and take out my money. The guy I was talking to on Friday, he was like, well, you could just like move it back to an 80 delta at any point and take out cash that way. And then you still don't limit your upside. I thought that was super smart. And he was looking at somebody that did that basically, like, I don't know what the underlying was, but something like Spire Qs, like when you're up so much, and I don't know where you're gonna buy it, maybe 70 delta, 80 delta, something like that, but you buy it at the 70 delta, goes up, and then I think whatever underlying he was talking about, the guy was being able to move it back up to whatever delta he purchased it at, but bought 2 instead of 1, and then so now controlled double the amount of shares. I thought that was, I don't know why it just never had occurred to me. I just flipped them into debit spreads to cash and then just looked at it like a free play. Let's see. So we have, let's see what I have. Man, I can't believe ever since I started playing Tilray, that thing is just fallen. I did sell another put on Tilray just to lower my cost basis. This is the other thing. So I was talking to him. He's talking about, he's a guy, he plays a wheel a lot, and from what I think like from what I remember, he was talking about, like, so you sell your puts, you get assigned on the wheel, no big deal. And then when the underlying drops, and kind of like, what do you do? Normally you sell some calls on it, that's the idea, but sometimes the underlying drops so much as to where there's not very much money, right? You're selling calls for like $3 a week or $20 a week or just something like not much, and then going in and selling another put like way below to lower your cost basis, calling it a rescue mission. So I think like right after I had that conversation, or maybe like right before actually, that's when I went ahead and did that, because the more I lower my cost basis of those shares, the lower I can sell the calls at, and I'm not going to get assigned at above a break or below a break even point. But Tilray has just been getting hammered. Holy smokes. I'm back offshore in the Gulf of Mexico. Awesome. Dude, oh, I want to go somewhere. I'm going to. Oh, so what? It cut my finger. Oh wait, cut my finger off out here 3 months ago, and just got back to work a few days ago. How much? Which one did you cut off? My kid cut off his finger. And he's like a really shy. He's like a really shy kid. I don't know if I still have it. I'll have to go click the box that there might be gross images or something. Where is that? Right pinky? And they stuck it back on. Yeah, he's like working at a place, and he got his like his let's see, no, it was his left pointer because he's left-handed, and his left like little tip got cut off. So yeah, I'm actually buying some camera gear because I think the extent of my camera is pretty much what's on my phone. That camera there, and that's about it. So I'm gonna buy some camera stuff, and picked up a drone, so I can get out of the country, go somewhere, get some good video footage of wherever I'm gonna go. I would love to be out there. I have one question for you. At what percentage would you cut your loss in your put credit spreads? I'm having a hard time cutting my losses. You have to pick that for yourself, and then, which isn't the big deal, is sticking to it. No matter what you do, you make your plan. And I can tell you, like, a general rule of thumb is 2 times credit received, or so yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's what you're talking about, Nick, but 300% like the total. So if you receive $50, cut it at when it's down, $150 total. That's a pretty good rule of thumb. But the big thing is follow your plan. Like, you can't wait. You're like, but it's probably gonna bounce, and then you're at 302%, 305, 306, 400. It's gonna bounce. You just have to follow your plan. Like, the biggest mistake people make is coming up with a plan and not following it. A lot of traders would be profitable if they stuck to it. And just as much as we kind of like look at why we're opening a trade, we have to look at when we're going to close it, or like what are we going to do when it goes down. You need a plan in place, and then you need to stick to it. Not just all, if you use gut feeling or hope or pray or wish, those are terrible strategies. Bend over airplane. So like your pinky gets cut off, they like just put it back on and you're good to go. Was it hanging on by anything? My kid got his like it was like a machine that took it, so it wasn't even anywhere near him. I wonder if I have that though. I kind of don't want to look for it, but I kind of do. I looked at it once. I have such a weak stomach though. Let's see. I think it was like after that trip. Maybe I didn't save it. Probably shouldn't have. Pictures. Yeah. Who knows? Not that I need to really post a picture of a ripped off finger. They wrapped it up, flew me into New Orleans, and it was back on 6 hours after they got it cut off. That's crazy. Did you take a helicopter over? They're just like, I've never even been in a helicopter. So, and how much of it too? That's crazy, dude. Oh, yeah. Do you guys take helicopters when you first get out there? Or you take a boat? Oh, okay. Gotcha. How much of your pinky got cut off? That's just nuts, though. Like, to me, I'm thinking like as soon as I have something chopped off, hopefully it never happens, like knock on wood. Like, I feel like, oh, just the tip. Yeah, I feel like it would just be gone. Like, that would be it. Like the whole nail section. I know it'll just probably like look all messed up and weird, but at least you can use it. Maybe not have feeling. Something like that. Last knuckle. Dang. still have feeling? That's crazy. Just goes like back to normal. Huh. Cool. Good stuff. I don't see if there's anything I want to go through. I want to look at next week. I'll probably I should make a separate video on it, but I'm definitely going to look at for next week, especially if Tesla drops more, some long butterflies or long butterflies or long condors. They're going to be so cheap to play. I want to see how much these things are. Back to credit spreads. I try to roll mine out if I can. If I can't, then I'll close it out at 300%. Perfect. What's up, Eric? Yeah, and as long as you like stick to the rule, that's just the number one thing. As long as you do it like robotically, you can't just be like, oh, it's getting close. I see that too. I see. Well, like if you're going to stop out at 300, and then it gets to 200, you're uncomfortable, and then you decide to close it anyways. Most likely, what'll happen is it'll bounce back. I regret closing more things because I was uncomfortable than anything else. I wonder what in October. Let's see what it looks like. Just even bouncing back to where we were at. Because I think we're down, I can't remember aftermarket, but back to like that 7. Does it do it? Nope, not on there. Back to that 755. I want to see what these things are going to cost. Come on, 2. Do I have number lock off? Why is my 2 button not working? I can't type a 2. Not working? Yeah? Oh, there we go. Oh, of course in the wrong one. 22 bucks. But this is something I'm going to look at playing next week for sure. This would be a long butterfly. So these are going to be super cheap to play. 20 bucks. Who knows? Yeah, if it goes down a little bit more on Monday, then these could be even cheaper. Something we can play for 20 bucks, 15 bucks or something like that. But this will be, $20 play, and has a max gain of what, 477. So 400 and some dollars, although Robinhood won't let you keep it till the last minute. And likely if we do see the upside, which I feel like, that's all the way out in October. So that's after we get the production numbers. And let's see. And we'll get, I don't know, they haven't announced earnings, but maybe somewhere around there. But that's something that we can do a 400% profit on pretty easily. So I'm going to be looking at those next week for sure. I'll probably pick some up on Monday. Maybe I'll grab like $100 worth, because it can be, $100 into $1,000 pretty easy. And then I'll average down on them if it happens to drop some more. But I'll either do those, and I'll probably look at some farther out condors, and those are probably even going to be cheaper. You've never once done a long call butterfly. They are very, they're like, they have to be managed. You have to make sure you take profit. But of course, that window is, you can see like that window is pretty narrow, right? I should grab one on option strat. Someone was asking me about it not too long ago. Let me see. Should just grab the option strap, make sure we can see it all. So we will build long call butterfly. And let's see, we'll do the Tesla. Thing is, they're very low cost. They're pretty low probability as far as statistically, but when I see a down day like that, we don't see those down days forever and ever. And even if we were looking at, I can go back to Tesla. That one has too much crap on it. This one actually does too, with all my million lines. But even when we, God, this is way too much. Let's just clear. Move all studies. There we go. I mean, that really kind of broke this pattern, but we're up in an uptrend, and even when we've seen these few little pullbacks here, we've kind of come right back up, and it hasn't taken very long. That's what I'm looking at. And we're still, I mean, we're still pretty bullish for the time being. So pop back over to this guy. October 8th, that gives us a month to bounce. And you can play these for so dang cheap. I mean, even if we were to go right after earnings is announced, and get something a little bit wider here. And these ones we played these a couple, like last week, and I think I ended up taking over 300% profit on it. But this is something you can pay $34 for. It has a max profit of 900. The thing is, if we look at, let's look at the table, which I think is kind of more helpful. So even from where it's at, if you ended up playing something like this, and we can dip all the way down to 700s, we're still profitable. So kind of in that mid time between now and October 8th, you can be profitable in a pretty wide range of spots. But if it takes until that last week or so, I mean, and stays within that, that's what, $38 cost. And I mean, you could potentially be 2, 3, 4. I mean, if you just happen to hit it on the nose, which wouldn't happen, and Robinhood makes you close these like an hour early. But that's 866 on expiration, which is pretty good, I think. Yeah, you can play them for even less though, which is crazy. So if like you did a 5 wide, you need to get a little bit wider here. That can't be right. What, no matter what, you make $3 on this? Oh, because it's showing a credit. Okay. I was like, why? This is the no lose play. Talk about clickbait, make $3 no matter what you're doing. So I think what's happening, well, I know what's happening here, just some of the pricing on the options is just wrong right now, because it's off market, it's aftermarket. So let's see if we can do one a little further out. 785. Yeah, you see, you can play like stuff for this, like $18 into like 400 max profit, but that's not realistic. Like you're probably gonna play something a little bit wider. But these are what you can do. So especially when you're down, already out of the money, since it's already $35 to get to the bottom of these butterflies, you're already kind of, statistically there's no reason for it to go here. Statistically it's going to kind of, land either up here or down there, since the market makers just don't care about direction. They just care about movement, like with volatility relative to the underlying. So those are cheap plays. So that's what I like. That's what I'd like to use these for, is when we have a good pullback, and I think it's going to go back to the upside, but I'm not sure exactly when. So that gives me time. That gives me time for it to go back up. We're probably going to be profitable during the way. It's not a huge debit, and you can make a lot of money on it. Options strat sometimes get it wrong. Options profit calculator is a little better. Yeah, I went to this just because I think the interface is a lot cleaner. But I think options strat in this case has it wrong just because of when it's showing the cost of the options. I mean, it's like that thing when you have your at the close, when you're at your account sitting somewhere, and then all of a sudden it shows like you have a spread that you're down $2,000 on, that you were up about up $100 on up until the very last minute. So I'm sure that's what it is, because it's all math. You'll do it in TD. Yeah, those are ones. And I played one on the SPY for a little bounce back up on Monday too. I paid $15 for them. I bought like 10 of them. But those are like the little ones, those like little butterflies I did. The 730, 740, 750, which if I would have held those until yesterday, that would have been $128 into, I think those were like a $1,800 max gain. And we almost hit that like right on the nose. If I would have sold out the beginning of yesterday, that would have probably been a 500, 600, 700% gainer. Check this stop for good leads. SMG is ready on the monthly. It's at the bottom. STOCH. Man, I hate the weekends. I want to trade. Well, you always have crypto. Always have crypto. Sir, I see poop. So glad option is not regulated to just big investors. Oh, yeah, or relegated to big investors. I 100% agree. And the fact we don't have to, I mean, comparing it to 20, 30 years ago, you just have to call up the broker, make the choices. I wonder what the fees were 20, 30 years ago. They were probably nuts. Well, I think they only came out in, I want to say like 70s or 80s or something like that. So they're not even all that old. And the fact that we can go from nothing to download an app to get an instant deposit to buying options in like 20, 30 minutes, it's insane. I'm bored on the weekends because I have new strats I want to try out. Yeah. What do you have like something that you normally play? These are super fun, and at least they're like super cheap. You can do these butterflies for nothing. I mean, you can do them for like $10, $15, and that's some time. That's like 4 weeks. That's quite long. But at least if you figure out your new strats on the weekend, then at least you have the weekend to process it and not just like jump right in. And I'm 100% guilty of that. I'm 100% guilty of like, oh, I just discovered I want to buy this stock, and I just buy it, like not wait for a dip, not wait for anything, just like run into it. What's up, Nanu? And Ms. Melody. It's almost a crime. We can all do this. Imagine 1995 trying to get in the stock market, right? You weren't even born in 1995. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know, the amount of different ways that we have to make money right now is insane. Like with a phone and an internet connection, the fact like selling premium, if you stay on the right side of things, right, if all you're doing, it'll be slow and boring, But if you stick with things that are like 84% probability of profit, it's going to be slow and boring, but you can sit there and make money. You don't even have to try. How many legs does a long call butterfly have? 3. So, and I don't know how well it comes through, but you can see it here. So you buy a call, you sell 2 above it, and then buy 1 above that. And then if you're ever playing a long, let's see, and you asked about, yeah, butterfly. So, and then a long condor is kind of the same, except for you just add 1 more. But this is long call. Where are they at? Do they show them on here? Long call condor. So normally when you're setting up your condor, usually it's with puts and calls, right? Your lower side would be made up of 2 puts, and your call side, of course, would be made up of call. And your the ones that are closer to the money, those would be the ones you're selling. So it's very similar with that, but done all with calls. So the 695 you're buying and then selling the 610 in this case, selling 760 and then buying 785, and you can see it looks like the graph here. This looks very similar to an iron condor. Actually, if we look at this graph, it looks exactly like an iron condor. All it's done is shift from where the current price is out to a different width. And the farther you move this away from the money, I mean, this is actually in the money right now. This is kind of a silly example because this is still, it costs you quite a bit. But let's take a look at another one. So like if we wanted to go out a little bit farther with not much width, let's say we wanted to, we were thinking that Tesla could go up, $800 or something like that. But you didn't want to put a whole bunch of money into it, right? You didn't want to risk a whole bunch, but you wanted a bunch of upside. This is a long condor. It could expire worthless. This gives you a $30 width, anywhere between $790 and $820 for $150 instead of playing like $1,000 somewhere near the money, and you can still make $1,000 on it. I'm not sure how you adjust. I wish we could adjust the chart range down. But since we're playing like so far out of the money, it's not going to look. These are going to be a lot cheaper just because it has to make that initial move. And these things even tighter. The tighter they are, the more they're going to start looking like a butterfly. At least the profile is, because you have a narrower and narrower margin for profit as to where because a butterfly, the only way to get 100% on a butterfly is hit like just perfect, right? Like if your mid strike price, the one that you're selling, is 800, it has to expire at 800. That's the only way you're ever going to get 100% on those. You still don't understand iron condors yet? I just stick to the old debit spreads. Oh man. So you just stick to, do you ever play credit spreads? Forrest Whitaker's Crooked Eye. What is with the the usernames today? That's so funny. Do you have any plays in mind if the market starts crashing, or just buy puts? No, I'm not going to buy puts because if it starts going down, unless we have like a major turn of events, I don't see that as a sustained drop, and I'm not going to. And maybe that's just because I'm bullish. I just don't. I would be more of a contrarian at that point. I would see a drop, and I would just want to buy cheap out of the money calls at that point, looking for the bounce. My protection for the downside is my long-term account, right? Like I have I have like 3M in there, Clorox, Johnson and Johnson, Apple, Microsoft, things that aren't going anywhere. And over the short term, it can take a dip, which is fine. My put credit spreads, they're fine. There's enough of them out of the money. I can roll those out, but I'm not going to bet on the market going down, especially what we've seen. Like we've seen like news that we thought was going to shake the world, and the recovery is too dang fast these days. The recovery was too fast on the pandemic, let alone like all these other news items that are coming out. Just debit. Just debit spread seems easy to you. Are you playing like far out of the money, like low cost ones, or what? How do you like iron condors on earnings plays? I think if they're like too, depends on the underlying, and if they're like 2 standard deviations out, I would like to sell it. I would like to close it out right before earnings, get some of that volatility run up. I've played a couple, but I don't also play a lot of earnings too. I would rather benefit from the change in the volatility rather than playing those moves. If anything, I'd probably just play a straddle if I was to make that one of my focuses, but you guys know it's put credit spreads. Not putting a credit spread in the SPY right now, get wrecked maybe. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I'm not ruling anything out for like this next week. I think this, whatever happens like next week, I'll just like let it happen. I don't have anything huge expiring. At least I don't think. I should probably double check. Good Lord, can we zoom out a little bit? So I do have some butterflies on the SPY, looking for a bounce on Monday. But high risk, high reward. A bunch of calls I've sold on everything. All those things are going to be all good. Boy, 442. I do have a couple put credit spreads. I was probably up on those. Maybe these things weren't fantastic. 442s. I should probably close those out Monday. Tilray. I'm trying to get assigned on that Tilray at 1250. Lower my cost basis of those shares. Put credit spreads and call credit spreads that are far enough out of the money. I'm just looking for the decay. My calls I sold on Tesla that are looking pretty yummy. And then I have these 3 option strategies, which are broken wing butterflies. So the funny thing about these broken wing butterflies, so it's showing that I'm down quite a bit, and my maximum gain really is, it's either 10 cents, $10, or if we drop down to, what would this have to drop down to? 433, then these things make $100. So it'd be kind of cool to actually see that happen once in a while. Most of them are just super safe. I don't see that happening. Sold call against leaps we have on Apple, and then most everything is sold. What did Coinbase do on Friday? I didn't even look at it. 240, 247. I think Coinbase has like just super strong support at that 220 though. 224, 220. Like bounced right off there at least a few different times. Do you use heckin' Ashi candles? No. I don't even know what they are. Everything Reddit in the account still looks good. Yeah, if I'm ever sad about my red, one after seeing, like, I've had days that were down much more than this, probably 3 times this, but I can always zoom out and go, all right, we had a crappy day. All right, we had a little less crappy month or week. Our month, at least we still made $16,000, so that's fine. The last quarter on this, what are we up? We're up like 60,000. And then, so those like these $7,000 deals, like we just have like these little drops every now and again. And then, I mean, that's That's what's going to happen. 2-3 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. And that is the nature of how those put credit spreads, being the majority of my count, that's just how they act. So they're very low profit relative to the collateral I'm putting out there. So if they move against me, they move a lot. The maximum, and my maximum gain is like $100 for a maximum loss of $400. So it moves down. Yep, I show a lot of loss, and it takes a long time for them to become, or a lot of upside or time before they're profitable. So that's kind of the expectation of the account. I expect to come down, go up slowly, and then have these drop days. And these drop days are fantastic. They're just opportunity, and you become pretty immune to them too. Like, it's not like, oh God, can you guys please subscribe to my OnlyFans? I'm out of money now. My family tells me I'm wasting time trading and need to go get a job instead. They think Wall Street is gambling. Yes. I mean, literally, the reason I started doing this is because friends and family didn't want to talk about it. And this is where I'm at, starting with $575 after, it's been less than a couple years or something like that. Yeah, you just do well and show them. Had a great day Friday. Spy calls made $1,700. What are you talking about? You sold them? Spy calls. Trying to add some Tesla to my Roth on next dip. Nice. The problem with Robinhood is they do not show pre-market numbers on Chipotle, AutoZone, Shop, etc. I don't know why. I've never noticed. I haven't played any of those. I think I have some Chipotle. They don't show any of them? That is strange. Never noticed it. And to be fair, there is some gambling going on in Wall Street, for sure. But as long as you're on the right side of the trades, doing high probability things, making good decisions, sticking to your trading plan, it is 100% not gambling. Otherwise, nobody could do it for a living, and we all know there's plenty of people who can do it for a living. The expectation to make money during the first year of trading shouldn't be so high, but after time and after you learn it, I would expect second year on, most people make money. And show your parents the article. Robinhood traders beat, I think it was like it was either 3 out of the last 4 or 5 out of the last 6 quarters of like just the S&P, which hedge funds don't even beat the S&P for the most part. The boomers are so bad at keeping up, they discourage you. The generation that rebelled against their parents who almost destroyed everything. Yeah, and like the options world is just completely different too. They're like, buy AT&T and hold until you die. WEBULL does. I should look at, there's a lot of things I should do. I have a WEBULL account. I put money in. I think of that because they announced options, but at that point you couldn't even do a spread on there. You can only buy, I think you can only buy a call or a put. So I took it back out and haven't been back since. Did Stock Market Live mention you on Instagram? Yes, they did. Yeah, that's like one of the very first things I started watching, and I still listen to like while I'm driving. I mean, that's for instant news for what's going on. I don't learn anything on there anymore, but just listening to it is super good. And I did learn a lot for like the first when everything was shut down during the pandemic. I watched every stitch of it, learned quite a bit, but there's only so much I think you can learn on that. Like, that's super basic, super beginner. But then, and once in a while he'll go into some technical stuff, but I think it's hard like long coin or long term. But yep. Bitcoin is sideways right now, basically boring. I didn't even pay attention. I know if Dogecoin goes up or down because my girlfriend's holding a crap load of Bitcoin, and I hear about it. She'll be like, I lost 5,000, I lost 15,000 today. When I wonder how Doge is. I haven't seen it. She's like, don't talk to me until Doge is $1. I'm like, okay. And then it made her mad because I put buy orders in at I can't even remember. What was it, like 20 cents, 25 cents, 30 cents? I think those 3 levels I put buy orders in. And she's like, it's never going to reach those levels. It's never going to reach those levels. And then I ended up with some. He posted your portfolio yesterday on Instagram along with some other chads. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I think I commented on that. Yeah, 'cause someone's asked. They didn't understand like why my account shows higher than more gain. That's right, because my account shows more gain than what's currently in there, and they're like asking why, and obviously it's because I withdrew money. I've taken 50, 60, I think I've withdrawn 60,000 or something like that out, and that was actually that was to buy my house. So that was my down payment, was straight out of my Robinhood account. Oh, I get it now. I read like horn a few times. Horn. You know, the one that gets me on his stream is the little at the end of the day he does that, this is the captain speaking, that boom boom or whatever. But it's very similar to the sound that Tesla makes when you're engaging or disengaging the autopilot. So every time I hear it, like if I'm just driving and have it in the background, I go ding ding, and I'm like, oh crap, like am I running off the road or what's going on? It screws with me every single day when I hear it. About Thursday before close. I missed that. Okay, Charles, let's see. I know you bought. Had a great Friday. Oh, okay. So you made it on Friday because you bought on Thursday. Bought on Thursday before close and sold Friday when it shot up in the opening. Man, that's huge balls. 18,450 calls. Good job. And were they like expiring on Friday? You know, and I played that stuff. I played that for so damn long. If you look at like what I did, like my account shot up and I traded sideways for a long time, and it was stuff like that. Like, let me buy a bunch of calls out of the money, and I would just I would win 1, lose 3, win 1, lose 4, and I just traded sideways. And it wasn't until 1, I stopped listening to anybody else's plays. 2, stuck with the same strategy for the most part. I still, once in a while do some YOLO stuff, but try to use a small amount of my account balance to do it. Until then, I wasn't really consistently profitable at all. How important is technical analysis and reading charts before you enter put credit spreads and selling cash secured puts? I don't feel like they're important at all. And they're definitely not important for me, since it's mostly just price action. Reading a chart just showing price history, I think, is important. Knowing the underlying, I think, is important, and have some idea of what's going to move it, why it would move, and maybe overall market condition. But the actual technical analysis, I don't think is important. I think I think that can get in your way just as much as it can help you. I mean, like a day trader, certainly, if that's what they're looking at. But I mean, nobody's going to be able to predict what's happening. Sure, there's certain events that we have some decent clue on, but for the most part, technical analysis, I don't know. I've watched so much technical analysis that has been absolutely wrong. And then of course I've watched stuff that's been right, but if it's 50-50, and then go watch some guys who do technical analysis. I swear to God, every single time they're like, okay, it'll hit this point, and then from there it'll either drop or go up. Like, oh, like I can do that. I predict on Monday Apple, it'll either go up or down. The SPY is not going to be where it's at today. Like, if that's the technical analysis you need, or if it goes, or I'll hear it, like if it hits this support level, it'll either bounce or keep going down. Well, no crap. I mean, it's not going to sit exactly sideways. I noticed that every time the RSI bottoms at 0 on all time frames, that is when a reversal happens, which makes sense. I've seen it like 5 times now. How often do you see it? And of course there's a big difference between, swing trades, like swing trades and a day trade, and and investing, essentially. If you have the time to sit in front of a chart too all day, which I don't have the time to do. I don't know that I ever want to do that. I do have a lot of interest in day trading, but I would expect to lose money for the first year, or and hope to break even the second year. Maybe I'd be a little ahead of the curve knowing something, but then sometimes knowing something kind of gets in your way. I keep looking at that horn. I should get one of those. Maybe one day. One day after I get like a real camera instead of a webcam. But I'll bet, yeah, if you see that RSI hit 0, like you almost can't not hit the buy button. I think I only have RSI up on one of my charts. But the thing is, I don't spend. Actually, what did it? Where was the? This is what, a 5-minute? RSI was 17 after. I'd like to have the time to sit there and stare at it, and then because eventually you're just going to have the pattern recognition too. For the SPY, this is not the big September dump yet. Yeah, Friday's going to be the big September dump if there is one. Friday, last half hour. Honestly, we all should probably buy some puts. I probably should grab some out of the money puts for Friday. But I seem to always be a contrarian, so I always want to see that bounce. I'll go back actually on the SPY chart. I want to look at the last few quad witchings, see what happened. I thought the last one was like a little bit uneventful, but I don't remember. Just to see what it is, like just to see if there is a standard play that we all should be playing. Like, is it buy some puts on Wednesday that expire that Friday? Maybe there's a pattern there. And all these things, like when I say that, there probably is a pattern, and then the natural reaction is, well, why doesn't everybody just do that? Because they just never went back and looked at it. Somebody here could go back and look at it, check every single one, see what happens on that Friday, probably play a straddle or a put, and if you waited every 3 months to play quad witching day, probably be a pretty good thing. I'm gonna check on your theory out. Okay, let's see. Just wanted to thank you for the phone call, answering my questions on selling cash secured puts, and taking the time out every night to help me out. Yeah, you got it. That's what I love. I enjoy it. You're very welcome. And then it was funny because you were asking me if it drops on Friday, so hopefully you got into some yesterday. I'm gonna check out your theory out. It seems a little. It seems to make sense a little. I hope I make a little bit of sense. Could you send me the screenshot though, if you do have it on those, or in the art, or even if you know the dates that it happened? I guess I can go look at it too. And with Tasty, we're coming out with that back testing feature. I wonder if we could do something with that. Go back to look at all the quad witching days and see if there's a play. So I'm down $100 after 4 months of trading on $30,000. I shouldn't be bummed about that. No. No. First of all, you should be super happy that you have $30,000 to trade with. Like, a lot of people don't have that. A lot of people don't have that first $100, or like the average American doesn't have an extra $500 or something like that for an emergency. So be happy about that. Be happy you're not down 50% or 90%. A lot of people do that. If you just started and you're in trades right now, and you're only down $100 after that big dip on Friday. I mean, I'm down, what was it, $8,000 on Friday. We probably have some room to move up. And to master or be good at something after 4 months, that's not necessarily like, what if you're learning how to pilot a plane or something like more technical? Trading, like once you get it, it's pretty easy, but it's not always simple. And you're still probably trying to figure out what strategies that work for you. I don't know what you're doing, but you're probably learning a lot of what to do's and what not to do's after 4 months. I know you might be frustrated, but not bummed. A lot to be thankful for. Like, I'm grateful that I had $8,000 to lose, and I didn't don't have not food to eat or something like that at this point. That's awesome. I was down 2K with a 6K account. Right, see? No, I'm a pilot too. Trading is harder in my opinion. Yeah, I remember taking aeronautics in school. I thought that was a lot easier. I was grasping aeronautics at, what grade was that? I think that was, I can't remember if it was in high school. But that was a lot easier to grasp than some of these trading concepts. How can you thetaprofit@gmail.com? I always said nothing is random. The stock market is manipulated, but most of us haven't figured out the code yet. Oh, yeah, I know. There's some times where I swear, yeah, you're right. Like that, the Wyckoff distribution thing is messing with my head. 100% messing with my head. Trying out the Trader Joe's pumpkin spice K-Cups. Any credit spread plays you're going into? Not, I was going to say not next week. Probably not next week. So, absolutely, yeah, at Gmail. Yep, you got it. Let me make sure that's up. There it is. Okay. But what I'll look for next week, is definitely like I have all those like 39 call credit spreads and 40 put credit spreads or whatever. I'm looking at those, probably closing them out for very, very little, and then I'll open them up. So, I mean, I don't have any specific levels. Depends on the price action, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, see what's going on. If we have big dips, then I'll definitely want to open up some more. They're going to be on Tesla, 100%. I will definitely have some open, but and I'll, of course, post them during the day when I make my little daily videos. Hopefully hopefully I'm able to do them earlier in the day, so I can show you guys what I'm doing. But let me see. Oh, my schedule is not populated. Why? Yeah. Oh well. Okay. Watch out for Tesla. Yeah. I mean, to me, it's just opportunity, and it put me in a fantastic spot, even though we're down. I mean, that's super awesome. My call side's going to decay faster. My put side's still looking good. And, like, if I had to guess right now, what I'm going to do is I will probably be opening up some 3 to 4 week out 660s, something like that. 660s, 655s. All right. Dang. Do we have a time? What was the time and times on those? See. I don't know what I want to put over here. How can we open with? Try not to show what I don't want to show. There we go. Yeah, I can see where the RSI was at, and then I'm wondering what happened like from there on out, because sometimes that RSI will like drop, and then it's a great indicator for what's going to happen over the next 5-10 minutes. But I don't see, or did you put in the body of the email like the actual dates? I should look at that. Because I want to look at like what happened after that. I could probably find them though. I'm gonna. Oh yeah, I understand that. But what, like, was that from Friday? Like, when did that happen? Market crashing this week? Maybe. Quad witching Friday? I don't know, and I don't think a crash. Technically, a crash would need a lot of movement. It's just going to be should be a lot of volatility. I think we have a lot going on. We have quad witching. I think we have Jay Powell speaking. I think we find out about whether or not he's going to work another term, which I don't know. For me, that'd be sad to see him go. So we have a lot of stuff going on. And then we had a call between Biden and President Xi. And then nothing good came out of that. So that's kind of bad as far as like how it's going with China. China though, man. That's crazy. I swear, like, what they're doing is kind of crazy, but it's kind of like how parents get lazy, but so they're just gonna be good parents. I guess that's how communism works or whatever. Like, you kids are not gonna play video games. you, and I don't know if you guys know that, but like, China limited kids, so I guess it applies to under 18. Limits them to 3 hours of video games, online video games, a week, and it's only Friday, Saturday, and Sunday between 8 and 9 p.m. and government holidays, and that's it. So it's like they're gonna have those kids either studying, exercising, studying some more, and then I saw that the last one was like studying what, like, she's theologies basically. Do you use Market Chameleon to find? No, I don't. Should I? I don't even know what Market Chameleon is. That was Augusto. What's up, Jacob? Tesla headed to 690? I don't think so. I really don't think so. Wouldn't that would be an awesome opportunity. I would low key really like to see 690. That would be super awesome. Account will show pretty red for a little while, but I think by the end of the year we're seeing 800, and so between now and then, if we have some dips, it's just going to be a huge opportunity. I mean, we have next quarter's. What do we have? We don't have very long before the next quarter's deliveries, production numbers, and the the earnings. So, but this will be the first earnings, I think, without Elon on the line too. Explain theology, please. I don't know what that is. Did Biden even know he was on the call with China? I don't know. He's like, China? You mean the wrestler? What's up, Count Dabula? Oh, and I'll look at those, like, all those charts. I'll, like, if I see something there worthwhile posting, I'll go over them like, because otherwise it's just me sitting here staring at those charts for like a little while trying to match them up, and so if I have something to say about them, I'll post it up later, maybe tomorrow. I'm sorry, bar chart. Do you use market? No, but anyways, no, I do not. I do not use it. I use market news, I use price action, and I have just a few key underlyings, and I mean the biggest one being Tesla. So Tesla and the SPY. That's what I watch most of the time, especially since I do have a full-time job, and it's like between actual times where I'm tied up that I'm able to keep track of all this stuff. So I'm not sitting here as a full-time trader. Don't have that luxury yet. Maybe someday I will, but it's kind of like a plus and minus, right? If you're a full-time trader, then you have to sit in front of a screen all day, which is not great. I get to get out and meet people and do physical stuff, which is very good for me. That March lockup, we were shut down for a month and a half, and just drove me crazy. I don't know how people can do it. I've never had a job. Let's see. Let me make sure I'm being honest here. Yep. I've never had a job where I sat in the office for like 8 hours a day. I couldn't do it, and I don't know how people do it. What is Theoli? I gotta copy and paste this into Google so I know it is. Because I still haven't learned everything there is to know. What? Well, that sounds nice. What? I was like, let me Google this, but it makes even less sense. Malayalam swearing. I don't even. Is that what Malaysians speak? I don't know. If it is Malaysian, that would be pretty coincidental, because that's where I'm. That was my vacation that I had planned before everything got shut down. All right. What are your thoughts on Tesla 2 weeks? Next 2 weeks down or so? Okay, over the next 2 weeks, if I'd have to guess, we're gonna come into earnings. So I see that earnings, of course, another earnings run up. So I'll see probably a pretty big correlation to whatever the rest of the market does over the next week or so, and then from there it can go up or down. No, so over the next week, running into the quad witching, I'll either see stagnant or down. I don't think we're gonna make a big bounce or anything up on it in the next week, and then I think we'll see a slow climb more towards earnings, and then after that, depending on how earnings goes, I think we'll see that ascent. I mean, I think we'll kind of stay in. Let's see, let me make sure this is still being shown. So I think we will still kind of see this channel-y up until we're, 800s or so. I think we'll test 800s a couple times and then break above that. So that's what I see over the next few months, because we're getting pretty close to the end of the year now. But that's been a pretty solid way up. I mean, we finally broke out of this mother of all wedges to get to some upside. We've had the NHTSA problem and some overall market issues, but other than that, I don't see anything holding it down. It's a 50% year over year, which has been steadily growing company, and that's just in the automotive production. They have 2 more factories that are getting ready to open. It's going to grow. It's not, and they're not slowing down by any means. The only thing, what's really keeping them back right now? I don't think much. Parts and pieces, production, like semiconductors, parts from like their distributors for things. Like, that's pretty much the only thing that's been holding anything back at this point. I mean, their demand's insane. It's not like they haven't sold every single vehicle that they've produced and have a waiting list for it. So, reversal on SPY this week. We're gonna chop around 144, 145. I hope it's 444, and not 144. Yeah, I'm not even gonna guess what it's gonna do this week. I think we could still see some more down movement. Do I hold any crypto at all? Yes. I've been mining crypto for 5, 6, 7 years. It's what heats my house in the wintertime. It's always been in the garage down on the bottom floor, and when it is cold, I open the doors and I let the heat from what those things produce come up. So not only do I heat my house with it, I mine with that. So I've held it for years and years and years. So just Ethereum and Bitcoin. And I was looking at one of my accounts. I do have a little tiny bit of Litecoin too. That was like the last time I looked. But haven't spent any of them. I've spent or I haven't cashed any of it. I did use Ethereum a couple times to actually purchase some things. That was many years ago. Just the fact that Wyckoff exists tells you it is manipulated like a computer, that follows a formula. And isn't that stuff just drives me insane. Like, when you see it and when you see patterns matching up to it, and how old that chart is, how old that Wyckoff chart is, that's insane. But it just makes sense. Like, I put out a poll however long time ago, like, I don't know, not even that long, but after all the cryptos kind of came back down, and just asking like, are you trading it, holding it, like, or are you just done with it and frustrated? And so many people are just done and frustrated, and that's what that Wyckoff distribution is meant to do, right? Like frustrate people, piss them off, keep getting FOMO'd, buy at that FOMO level, buy at the FOMO level, and then and then sell because they're frustration, and then just like squeeze as much money out of them as possible, and it works. You a chill dude? Are you like that when you're trading? I'm like on autopilot in my Tesla, like just trading. Yeah, and I'm very I'm not emotional about it either. Like, it's kind of is what it is. What is this? Doctor Strange, you are a doctor. You are strange. Did you know Apama? Nope. Oh wow, so you're super rich now? What? Option. Oh yeah. Yep, super rich now. I'm rich because my girlfriend bought Dogecoin at like 4 cents. That's why I'm rich. Options commercials everywhere. Oh yeah, especially on YouTube. I'm sure. I've had like YouTube Premium for a year and a half. I got it with when I got my Samsung phone. They give it to you for free for like 6 months, and then so I just every time I updated, they give you another 6 months free. They haven't came out with a new note, so I haven't been able to do it lately. Yeah, let me where's dun, dun, dun. Can I do that? Okay. All right. I guess I don't have to deal with that for very often. Okay, cool. Oh, yeah, that kind of, sorry, that distracted me. Getting rid of the troll. But anyways, yeah, so yeah, Samsung gives you the free YouTube Premium or whatever, but now since they haven't come out with a new note, now I've just paid for it, because I think like once you get rid of the commercials and you don't have to watch them anymore, you get used to it and don't want to go back, which I think also kind of makes sense, or maybe I'm just justifying it. Like, I don't want to spend, I watch a lot of YouTube. I watch more, I don't have television, cable, or anything like that, so I watch mostly YouTube and Netflix. And the way I kind of justify it too, I don't even know what do we pay, $20-$30 or something like that to get rid of all the commercials. So if I am not watching 3 hours worth of commercials a month, or 6 hours, then I'm only paying what, $10 or something like that to get back a year of my life, or an hour of my life. So $10 an hour, I think is fair. $5 an hour is fair. Can we please do some technicals? I'm not a technical guy. Neo and Lee Auto, yeah, they are both Chinese. Spreads are good on Tesla. Yes, sir, they are. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, I don't like, let me get up is it studies? Add study, compare with, actually, yeah, let's compare with SPY. Oops. Like, Tesla, this is the purple line is SPY, and it's just been, I mean, it's almost been perfectly matched up with it. What was I looking for? Because I think we had a few. I know SPY had a couple down days where Tesla was up, But I'm not even going to try to guess what's going to happen this coming week. I'm just not, as far as like the overall market. I'm out of it with my SPX, my 1 days and 0 days that I play on another account. I'm not doing that this week. Not really looking to open up anything. The only thing I'm going to do is take some advantage of any dips on stock that I like, and Tesla, of course, being one of them. I don't know that I'll pick up any more shares, but I'll definitely pick up some more put credit spreads. And I can go way out. But yeah. Let's see. Okay. Spreads are gonna. Bob is almost ready too. Yeah, but Baba being Chinese, I'm scared. I think everybody is. It's gonna be when, if I don't want to even say when, if Baba pops, I think it's going to be massive because everybody is kind of in that same boat of us being scared that Alibaba is still affected by the Chinese government and it's going to hold it down. I mean, Alibaba's worth double. Like, as far as like free cash flow, where's it at? Is it at like 150, 160 right now? Yeah, I shouldn't put on that one, huh? Oh, I was like, what? $33? How about I type in the last letter? Okay, like 160s. When that runs up, that's gonna run up. It's probably like, I think the fair market value of Baba right now is like 300, like 305, from what I understand. So if that thing ever runs up, if U.S. China ever kind of calms down, that thing is going to run. That thing is just absolutely going to run because it's worth almost double. But there's so much crazy things. So much crazy things going on with Alibaba though. It's like when you buy those shares, you don't actually own those shares. There's a middleman. I don't know if you guys knew that, but with like Alibaba, there's a middleman between you and those shares. And then we have all the uncertainty with China, and the constant threat of Chinese stocks being delisted. It's nuts. I was super convinced if it ever dipped below 200, I was buying leaps on it. So I'm super glad I did not. Neo and Lee are Chinese. Yes, the spreads are going to Tesla. We're going to go to war with China in the next decade. Something's got to give. I don't know. I mean, like, China's like that person that just like puts their head down and is going to work. I don't know if you've ever looked at China 2025, look that up. It's pretty interesting. But it's basically the entire country do whatever is necessary for China to be number one. 2025 just doesn't matter. And the fact, like, imagine how far ahead their kids are going to be not playing video games. Like, how many kids do you know, or how many of us, or how many of you waste how many hours playing video games a week? Those numbers are they're insanely high. And now they're going to take all that and have these kids focus on like physical things, mental things that are actually beneficial. That country, 5 years from now, it's going to be insane. Oh yeah, and Taiwan. God, yeah, it's pretty crazy. Something's got to give though. Like, hopefully 10 years, 20 years, we're both just like, the whole world's going to raise up, right? Like, these third world countries, and some of them are going through it now. Third world countries start off with super cheap labor, child labor, human trafficking, like all these crappy things. Out of that becomes that productivity. Then they rely on it, and then they get more expensive things to do, like more. Then they take that labor and it becomes more technical and more valuable. Like, you look at countries like Vietnam that were traditionally just like textiles. Now they're becoming a major hub for electronics. Like, Samsung products are produced there. There's a whole ton of that going on there. So that's kind of like the next leg up. But the whole economy's
the whole world economy is coming up, and things, when we have this more and more leverage, like robots, AI, and all these things, everything is just going to be leveraged to the upside. Hopefully we're all just 10, 20, 30 years, whatever. Hopefully we're all just like living on easy street and it's not one big competition. And I think I think somewhere down the road we are going to have some form of communism or socialism or something like that for the less skilled, like just because there's less skilled people out there, and either AI or even skilled people, either AI or robots are going to take their place. Because at that point, like when technology is really up there, you're not going to need warehouse workers, you're not going to need taxi drivers, you're not going to need engineers. And AI would be able to engineer way more efficient, way cheaper, way better than any human. How about Hood? Robinhood? I don't know. Robinhood, I'm just holding. I'm just gonna hold it. I use it every single day, so there's no reason for me not to have my money there. I think I have 50 shares now. I bought 30, sold 20 when it spiked up to like 60 some, and then now I've bought 40 since the dip. I don't know what it did by the end of Friday. Hopefully not Skynet though. Yeah, I know. I liked on like Elon's like the little Tesla bot. It was like friendly. That was like one of the things, and they're not making them too fast or strong yet. Taiwan would be the quickest escalation in history. Yeah, and I don't know if it's another like kind of a. I don't think we or China, like nobody wants to go to war, but I don't understand like the provocation. I don't understand it at all. Do you think it has anything to do with the Taiwan Semiconductor Company? I don't. Wait, what? Oh, superconductor. I just read it. Yeah, Taiwan. I do have some of that stock. I don't, but that would be crazy. They definitely want to control the semiconductors of Taiwan. You think it is? You think that's why they've been entering their airspace and all that stuff going on? I don't really know. Isn't there, is it, what do I think, is it TSM? Yeah, okay, it is. Okay, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing. How have they been doing over the last, what was it before the huge dip? So where were we? I think I do have, I'm pretty sure I have some of that in my long term. Interesting. Well, has this, oh my God. All right, hour and 45. I was like, this is usually about after an hour I kind of get a little tired from these streams, but for some reason it's almost been 2 hours now and not so much. But I do have some other things to go. Well, first I need to go learn how to fly a drone. So I just got one of those, and I can't even like fly it in the house because I'm in a no-fly area. I need special FAA permission or whatever. So I'm super excited. Got all my batteries charged. Gonna go do that. Awesome. Elon said Tesla basically overvalued again. No, I thought he said 3,000. Last thing I know about the value was it'll hit 3,000 as long as they execute well. But I don't know. All right, guys. So I guess we'll see you Monday.
maybe next Friday. Hopefully we have not such a red week like we had on Friday. Yeah. So I'm going to end it here. Love you guys. And, next week, let's go make a lot of money.